Just one day before Texans head to the polls to choose their party's candidates, Donald Trump's Republican challenger held a rally at the Fort Worth Stockyards. Her speech was interrupted several times by protesters. Former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley is trailing Trump by double digits. It's unclear how long she will remain in the race. Fox 4's Stephen Dial joins us live in Fort Worth. And Stephen, Haley talked to you one-on-one.
She did, and that was after a packed house was energized inside the venue, but that energy is not translating in the polls. At the states that have already voted early, Nikki Haley losing by double digits in multiple races. She did just win the District of Columbia. She was introduced by current Fort Worth Mayor Maddie Parker and former Fort Worth Mayor Betsy Price. Both have endorsed her, but that's some of the highest profile names that have endorsed her in Texas, because the big names have endorsed the former President Donald Trump. Nikki Haley criticized Trump for the nation's debt. She also pointed the finger at him for killing a bipartisan border bill. I asked her if she will still be in the race Wednesday morning.
This isn't an anti-Trump vote. This is a pro-America vote. These are people who just want to see normal again.
The latest major poll here in Texas has Trump beating you Tuesday by more than 50%. What needs to happen to shave in that number?
Well, people need to get out and vote. You know, what we saw is when we went into New Hampshire, they said we were down by 35 points and we got 43% of the vote. You never know what's going to happen on Election Day. What we always tell people is in a general election, you're given a choice. In a primary, you make your choice. America is better than two 80-year-old candidates.
Will Nikki Haley be a candidate for president Wednesday morning?
Our goal is to stay competitive. It's what I said after Iowa, it's what I said after New Hampshire, it's what I said after South Carolina, and now it's what I'm saying for Super Tuesday, is it's about being competitive. When 70% of Americans say they don't want Donald Trump or Joe Biden, we need to listen to that. If I were to get out of the race now, it would be the longest general election race in history. And everybody would be complaining about how their only two options were Joe Biden and Donald Trump.
Do you believe that Donald Trump single-handedly killed any border compromise, and do you think something should have passed compared to just have nothing?
Well, I mean, that's the frustrating part. They had a bill 2 weeks ago. The good part of the bill is it strengthened asylum laws. We have to have that because 3 million illegal immigrants came in under Trump because the asylum laws weren't strong enough. The weak parts were it didn't have remain in Mexico. We want that. We want people to have to remain in Mexico. And it had a 5,000 person threshold. We don't even want a 1-person threshold. The problem is what Congress should have done was gotten in a room, figured it out, and passed a strong bill. But Donald Trump told them not to do anything until after the general election because it would hurt him. We can't wait one more day to secure that border. This is not about him. This is about the American people.
The former South Carolina governor talked for a little more than 30 minutes, multiple interruptions, possibly about up to 10 pro-Palestinian protesters interrupted her one at a time during that rally. Again, very uphill battle. The former South Carolina governor did not say what state she thinks she can actually win on Tuesday, so we'll have to see if there's any Super Tuesday magic for the former ambassador.